Hello, so this is the second video in the series of Introduction to Adobe InDesign. So last episode we just simply created a new file and just looked at the tool system on the left hand side and some of the things on the right hand side. So let's start off by creating a grid for a publication. So this is how to set up properly. So let's go to Create, and we're going to set this up as an A4 and change the units to millimeters and just check to see if this is correct. Okay, it must be portrait. Facing pages, turn that on. Facing pages means that you have a double page spread going down all the page sets. So you'll see that when we get to it. Pages start off with 1, or you can start off with, let's say, 3. You will understand why I've got 3 there at the start. Start at page 1, yes. Now, let's move down. We've got columns. Now, the grids that I usually use are 12 by 12 grids. So the columns are going to be 12. And my column gutter is usually set to 5. Okay. So this depends on your taste. Another column layout is quite nice at 8 columns by 9 rows. Okay, so this is going to be a 12 by 12. Margins. I usually set the margin to be 12, and then I unlock these to be the same, right? So I unlock it so I can modify this. So my bottom one, I'm going to set this up as 15, and you'll realize later on the reason why I do that. Let's go down to bleed and slug. So your teacher should be able to tell you what bleed and slug is. We'll adjust the bleed. And this is a publication, so we're going to have this at a whopping 5mm bleed. Set all this the same, keep it in proportion. For this publication, I don't need to put in a slug. If you can, or if you need to, it's going beyond high school level understanding. Okay, so a slug, just so you know, is when you give custom marks to a printer or put comments into a printer at the actual plate level. Okay, so you very rarely use that. Let's go on now and create it. So here I've got my first page. So my first page is over here, and that would be considered to be the front page. Okay, so it'll be like a magazine cover. We go over to our pages right here. So if I double click, I go to page 2, I double click over here and I go to page 3. You can find pages in this box over here. If you can't find pages, you go to Window and you go over to, where's Pages? Pages, there it is. Okay, so now to set this up. Now, when we want to add, we don't have any flow lines at the moment. Okay, so what we'll do is we need to go over to Master Pages. So this section here in the Pages panel, Master Pages allow you to change page designs throughout the whole magazine just by simply assigning a page layout. So you can see here how it applies, a master is applied to these ones here. So if I double click into this and I put in, let's say, a box with a fill on it, and I go over to the left-hand page of my double page spread, I see there I've got the black box. So if I drag down more A's, you notice that every double page spread with A assigned to it is going to have a black line on it. A black cube. Rectangle, really. So let's double click on this again, and we're going to now press V to go to the Move tool, the Selection tool, and going to delete that box. And I'm going to press the space bar to go into the hand tool and just move across. I can see the double page spread. So looking at this page, we have the gutter, not really the gutter, but it's the print safe area here for your design. So if you want any text to be printed, 100% certain to be printed, you need to have your text within this area here. Okay, this space here is a possible space where it might be guillotined if the guillotine operators are not too careful. This pink or red line, depends on what screen you're using, is the bleed. Okay, and your teacher will show you what bleed is. All right, so let's move on to creating a grid. So if we go over to layout, and because we are currently in a master page, so I'm double clicking here, I'm making sure that I'm in master pages, and I go over to layout, I go over to create guides. So we've already got our columns. We don't need to worry about columns, so don't worry about columns. We need to add rows. So I'm going to click on preview so we can see what we're doing. Let's click now, bring it up to 12 rows. So each line here is a flow line, okay? All right, so we ensure too that everything fits to page margins. If you select page, then you'll see that this whole thing changes with everything distributed from the top of the page down to the bottom. We want it to be along the margins, okay? All right, so everything looks good here. I haven't set any columns because we already have columns there. If you want to go up to, let's say, 14, you can, but I like to have 12 just for a bit of a nice sort of layout there. It's up to you, it's personal choice. Let's click on OK. So now, if I go over to my design pages, I should have the grid available to me. Okay. So now, what else can I show you now? What time do we have? We're at 7 minutes and 30. So I'll believe this will be it for this one, and we'll continue on. Thank you. Bye.